The human body burns roughly 2.3 to 2.9 kilowatt hours of energy every day, about the same amount needed to fully charge 150 to 200 smartphones. We simply do it slowly and invisibly through food and sleep. Then one morning, the entire world wakes up to discover that breakfast is no longer necessary. All you need is a charging cable plugged into a wall outlet. Eating, drinking, and sleeping are no longer biological needs. You just have to recharge on time. The first thing every person on Earth notices is time itself. Sleep, which used to consume nearly 8.7 hours every day, and meals, which took another hour and a quarter, disappear from everyone's schedule, replaced by a single hour of fast charging. Humanity instantly gains almost 9 extra hours every day, more free time than anyone in the history of our species has ever possessed. And during those first few days, the entire world simply doesn't know what to do with the sudden surplus of life. Half of Earth's habitable land, once devoted to agriculture, becomes unnecessary within a single growing season. Along with it collapses the trillion-dollar restaurant and grocery industry. Entire industries built over centuries shrink within months because their purpose simply disappears. Millions of acres of former farmland are transformed into parks, forests, and wildlife reserves faster than any environmental program in history ever dreamed possible. Within just a few years, species once considered nearly extinct begin returning to landscapes where wheat fields stood only yesterday. As the food industry fades, a new one rises almost overnight. Manufacturers of charging cables and ultra-fast chargers compete for a market of the exact same scale. A premium human charging cable becomes the new luxury status symbol, replacing the role that fine watches once played. People show off not their clothes, but the speed and design of their charging ports. A soldier who no longer needs to sleep or eat can fight continuously around the clock. Military doctrine is rewritten within months. For the first time in history, combat fatigue ceases to be a limiting factor in warfare, and generals begin planning campaigns according to entirely new rules that had never existed before that morning. The concepts of night and morning survive only in school and office schedules. The human body no longer cares. Cities never truly sleep again, blending daytime and nighttime into one continuous cycle of activity. Grandmothers who once went to bed at 9 in the evening now stroll through city streets at 3 in the morning, alongside teenagers because early and late no longer mean anything biologically. A spacecraft whose crew no longer requires years' worth of food, only a reliable power source, suddenly makes crude missions to Jupiter realistic. Yesterday's impossible mission becomes today's engineering project. Space agencies that had postponed deep space expeditions for decades because of food and life support limitations finally received the opportunity generations of scientists had dreamed about. Engineers whose ambitious designs had gathered dust in desk drawers because no one believed missions beyond Mars were practical, now lead the most ambitious space program in human history. Children born into this new world never experience hunger. Food becomes an elite artistic hobby rather than a necessity, something closer to painting or fine wine than survival. The restaurants that survive evolve into places where people don't come to satisfy hunger, but to experience flavor for the sheer joy of taste itself. 8 billion people, each requiring roughly 2.5 kilowatt hours of electricity every day, add nearly 20 terawatt hours of daily demand to the global power grid, roughly a quarter of today's total worldwide electricity production. The fear of low battery quietly replaces hunger as humanity's primary anxiety. People begin checking their battery indicators with the same nervous habit their great-grandparents once checked the clock before lunch. Then something happens that has happened before. But in a completely different world, history's largest power outage strikes. Just like the famous 2012 blackout in India, which left 620 million people without electricity. Only this time, it doesn't merely mean dark buildings. It means 620 million people simultaneously running out of charge and simply stopping. In the middle of conversations, in the middle of streets, in the middle of ordinary life. They all freeze at once, like rows of laptops whose batteries have suddenly died. When electricity is finally restored and people wake up, humanity realizes something profound. Civilization can no longer depend on local electrical grids any more than previous civilizations could afford to depend solely on harvests or favorable weather. Yet, that shared moment, when more than 500 million people opened their eyes again at exactly the same instant, becomes the greatest unifying experience in the history of our species. People who had lost power beside complete strangers later described those first moments after waking up as some of the warmest human experiences of their lives. The very first thing almost everyone did was check whether the person beside them was okay. Within a single generation, guaranteed access to electricity becomes recognized as a fundamental human right, alongside access to clean drinking water. The first Global Energy Access Charter is signed because the entire world once experienced what it felt like to reach zero charge together. And no nation ever wants its citizens to be left without a place to plug in again. This isn't a scientific prediction. It's simply one altered fact. The human body begins running on electricity instead of food, followed to its logical conclusion. And it turns out that even after hunger disappears, humanity is still driven by the same force that always mattered most, the need for one another.